Chapter 1. The Alpha Who Went to Break His Marriage. Kairen Vale did not wake up expecting to be told he was getting married. He barely managed to take one bite of his toast before his mother, Astraeus Vale, legendary alpha boss and prankster extraordinaire, announced it casually at the breakfast table as if he were talking about the weather. Kairen, sweetheart, your marriage proposal arrived last night. Kairen choked so violently that his father, Zephyrus, reached out to rub his back with the long-suffering expression of a man who's been dealing with dramatic alphas for decades. What marriage proposal? Kairen wheezed. Eris passed him a sleek envelope. Gold paper, embossed seal, smelled expensive. It's from the Lynx conglomerate, he said, sipping his tea nonchalantly. Zephyrus added gently, they're the richest Enigma clan in the country. A very respectable family, very powerful, very stable, very, Kairen interrupted. Very uninterested in me, I hope. Eris ignored him. Their heir wants to marry you. It's a fantastic business opportunity. Kairen stared at the letter like it was a bomb. Marriage? Him? To a stranger? Absolutely not. He threw his hands up dramatically. This is match fixing, parental betrayal, emotional damage. Zephyrus sighed. We just want you to be loved, dear. Kairen blinked. I don't want love. I want snacks and peace. Eris beamed. Perfect. Marriage gives stability. You'll get snacks too. Kairen buried his head in his hands. How Astraeus sent the marriage proposal. Meanwhile, in a skyscraper across the city, Astraeus Lynx stood at his office window, staring down at the world he practically owned. His right-hand man, Darian Crow, entered quietly. The proposal has been delivered to the Vale's mansion. Astraeus' usual icy expression softened. No, melted. Good, he said, voice low and velvety. I've waited 8 years. I can wait a little longer if I have to. Darian stared at him as if he'd grown a second head. Sir, are you sure the Alpha will agree? Astraeus' eyes gleamed with a quiet obsession. He is my fated mate, he said softly. He will agree, even if he doesn't know it yet. Darian muttered under his breath, or he'll run for his life. Astraeus didn't deny it. He'd prepared for that too. How Kairen reacted to the proposal, drama level max. Kairen finished reading the proposal letter while pacing like a panicked squirrel. It literally says he wants to marry me because I'm compatible? What am I, a Wi-Fi connection? Eris patted his cheek. You're a 5G alpha, sweetheart. Kairen groaned. He read further. This union will strengthen both families and ensure a prosperous future. Zephyrus smiled. Isn't that sweet? No, sweet is chocolate cake or a raise. Not this. He held up the proposal like it contained black magic. I've never even met him. Eris raised an eyebrow. Oh, you have. Kairen froze. What? Flashback. High school chaos. Back in Kairen's second year of high school, there was a boy. Tall, quiet, too handsome for his age. Astraeus Lynx. He wasn't a bully, but he did irritate Kairen constantly. Pulling Kairen's chair back so he'd fall, then catching him immediately. Stealing his pens, glaring at any Alpha or Omega who got too close, showing up everywhere Kairen went, growling at people, staring at him with soft, puppy-like heart and eyes expressions. Kairen used to hiss at him. Stop following me. Astraeus replied calmly, I'm not following. You're just walking in front of me. Then one day, a group of older boys cornered Kairen behind the gym. They were going to pick a fight. Astraeus appeared out of nowhere. The boys were destroyed within 2 minutes. Kairen yelled, You bullied me too. Astraeus calmly wiped blood off his knuckles. I irritated you, not the same thing. And then, Kairen clearly remembered it the moment Astraeus looked at him like he was the only star in the universe. But high school ended. He never saw Astraeus again. Or so he thought. Back to present the setup. Now he was being forced to meet the same enigma he'd spent years avoiding. Kairen banged his forehead on the dining table. Why me? Eris smiled serenely. Because you're adorable. Zephyrus nodded. And lonely. I am not lonely, Kairen snapped. I just don't like people. That, Eris said, is called loneliness. Mother, go get ready for your date. It's not a date. It's a date, his parents said in unison. Kairen left the house grumbling like a grumpy cat. The restaurant scene. The revelation. The restaurant was ridiculously fancy. Crystal chandeliers, live violin music, tables spaced so far apart it felt like the rich were allergic to each other. Kairen arrived with a plan. Reject the proposal. Reject the man. Leave with dignity or at least dessert. Then he saw the man waiting for him. Tall, elegant, black turtleneck, long coat, sharp jawline, deadly aura. And those eyes, those same soft, obsessed, heart-melting eyes from high school. Astraeus Lynx smiled. Kairen Vale. Kairen nearly tripped. Before he could open his mouth, Astraeus spoke. I'm the one who sent the marriage proposal. I've loved you for 8 years, and I still do. And I am your fated mate. Kairen squinted. Prove it. Astraeus inhaled deeply. Then he released his pheromones. Thick, heavy, warm, scent like stormy rain and midnight forests. Kairen's alpha instincts roared to life. His vision blurred. His eyes flashed gold. Inside his mind mate, his inner alpha howled, clawing, desperate, possessive. Kairen slapped a hand over his mouth to stop a sound from escaping. Astraeus leaned forward, gentle but confident. I told you, I'm yours, and you're mine. Kairen's whole plan shattered. Every intention to reject him went up in flames. So, naturally, Kairen did what any sarcastic menace alpha would do. He smirked. I'll need some time to think. Astraeus agreed instantly. Of course he did. Love-struck fool. Kairen leaned back, eyes gleaming with mischief. This was going to be fun. Chapter 2. The Escape Prank the Chains. Kairen was many things. A responsible alpha heir. A disciplined CEO. A man with sharp logic and sharper sarcasm. But above all, he was his mother's son. Which meant he was a certified menace. A fact Astraeus Lynx, unfortunately, had not yet discovered. Kairen's brilliant, stupid plan. For the next 3 days after their meeting, Kairen could feel Astraeus stalking him. Astraeus never appeared in person, but Kairen could sense him. The prickly feeling on the back of his neck. The faint, stormy scent lingering in elevators. The silver car parked too conveniently near his office. A normal alpha would be creeped out. Kairen? He smirked at the window and whispered, Oh, my Enigma mate, you're about to get played. He remembered his mother's proud stories of terrorizing his father with ridiculous pranks, faking elopements, disappearing from family dinners, sending herself kidnap letters. Kairen inherited all of that chaos. So he planned, and schemed, and giggled at odd hours like a villain. At the airport, Kairen's masterpiece. Kairen wore sunglasses, a hoodie, and carried a suitcase 90% full of snacks. He strutted into the airport with the confidence of a man who had rehearsed this scene in the mirror. He even whispered dramatically, I'm running away from home. For love, or revenge, or both. He booked a ticket he wouldn't use, walked toward the departure gate, and put on his best tragically leaving everything behind face. He texted his mother, Kairen, I'm escaping. Eris, get him, my baby, make him suffer. Zephyrus, your mother is too proud. Please be safe, sweetheart. Kairen giggled. Perfect. This was going great. He could practically feel Astraeus panicking from wherever he was watching. Kairen hummed happily and dragged his suitcase forward. Then the temperature dropped. The lights flickered. The air thickened with something heavy, dark, powerful. Oh shit! He didn't even finish the sentence, because Astraeus appeared behind him like a silent storm. Astraeus is very not amused. People in the airport froze. Some even gasped as if a deity had descended. Astraeus Lynx walked straight toward Kairen with the calmness of someone who was seconds away from committing several felonies. His expression? Stone cold, emotionless, deadly. Only his eyes betrayed him wild, territorial, unstable. Kairen, one word. And Kairen knew he was dead. He opened his mouth. Listen, I can explain. Nope, he could not. Because Astraeus released his pheromones. Not gently like before. This time it was a thunderstorm. Dark, intoxicating. A tsunami of Enigma energy so strong it punched straight into Kairen's senses. Kairen blinked once. Oh, wow! And collapsed into Astraeus' arms, knocked out instantly. Astraeus caught him effortlessly. His face softened for exactly 2 seconds, then sharpened again. He lifted the alpha into his arms bridal style and growled at anyone who dared to stare. Look away. Everyone did, immediately. Waking up in the black and gold bedroom, Kairen woke up with a groan. His head spun slightly, but the scent around him was familiar. Storms, night skies, Astraeus. He blinked and found his wrists cuffed in golden chains, attached to a bed. A luxurious, ridiculously gigantic black and gold bed. Oh, Kairen whispered. This is new. A figure sat beside him. Astraeus. His expression. Stone. Jaw tight. Eyes dark. Possessive aura. Thick enough to choke the air. Kairen. Hi, Kairen chirped, absolutely not helping. Astraeus leaned forward slowly, voice low and lethal. If you ever try to run again, he said, each word precise, I will chain you tighter. Kairen blinked. Astraeus continued, You will be my wife. Kairen's jaw dropped. And the mother of my children. Silence. Kairen looked at Astraeus' serious, dramatic face and burst out laughing. Astraeus freezes. Kairen laughed so hard the chains rattled violently. Astraeus froze like someone pressed a pause button. His brain clearly malfunctioned. Kairen wheezed. You should have seen your face, Astraeus blinked slowly. Face? It was like, how dare my mate breathe without permission? Astraeus stared at him. Kairen wiped tears of laughter. This was a prank, babe. Astraeus' eye twitched. You pranked me. Yes, would-be husband. Astraeus processed that, then stood up, turned away, took a deep, painful breath, then finally said, We're getting married tomorrow. Kairen choked. What? Why? Astraeus turned back, eyes blazing. Because I refuse to experience another one of your unhinged pranks. Kairen stared. Astraeus stared back. And Kairen thought, he's kind of adorable. A feral, obsessed, territorial cinnamon roll. Astraeus walked to the door. Sleep well? I'll bring breakfast to your bed. I'm chained to it anyway, Kairen shouted. Astraeus nodded firmly. Good. Then he left, slamming the door gently, because his mate was inside, and doors must be treated with respect. Kairen snorted. My enigma's so dramatic, I love it. Chapter 3. Parents' Love Story. The Wedding. Kairen had experienced many ridiculous things in his life. But nothing, compared to sitting on Astraeus Lynx's absurdly fancy bed, still a little annoyed about being kidnapped, while waiting for his parents to arrive. He could already hear his mother's laughter echoing down the hallway. Eris and Zephyrus arrive. Chaos begins. The door burst open. Astraeus Vale, legendary alpha prankster, terror of his Enigma husband, Kairen's biological source of menace, walked in laughing so hard he had to hold the wall for support. Behind him, Zephyrus Vale followed with the long-suffering fondness of a man who had been surviving this hurricane for 3 decades. Eris pointed at the golden chains on the bed. You got kidnapped, he cackled. By your mate, ha 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 ha. Kairen, baby, I raised you well. This is poetic. Kairen crossed his arms. Mother, control yourself. Zephyrus sighed, patting Eris's back. Your mother was like this on our first night too. He chained me to the bed and said it was for safety. Astraeus, who had been standing quietly in the corner, nearly choked. Kairen stared at his father. Dad, why are you saying this like it's normal? Eris wiped his tears. Because it is normal. For fated mates, especially obsessive enigmas. Astraeus straightened proudly. Zephyrus added gently, Yes, your mother pranked me for years before we got married. Once he pretended to elope with another alpha just to see my reaction. Eris clapped. And he destroyed a wall. Astraeus blinked slowly and whispered, I feel understood. Kairen groaned. Oh no, don't encourage him. Their parents' love story. The chaotic mirror. As everyone moved to Astraeus' luxurious living room, Eris began telling the tale with dramatic gestures. Kairen, listen. I pranked your father every week for 3 years. Zephyrus nodded politely. I adored him more each time. Astraeus sat straighter, deeply focused, like a disciple learning sacred knowledge. Eris continued proudly. I pretended to be kidnapped, pretended to lose my memory, pretended to join a biker gang. Zephyrus added, and I chased him across 3 countries. Astraeus looked at Kairen with sparkling eyes. Kairen, we're perfect. Kairen facepalmed. Eris hugged Astraeus' shoulders. Child, welcome to the family. We're all insane here. Astraeus' parents joined silent judgment. The Lynx parents arrived an hour later. Syrian Lynx, Enigma, mother of Astraeus, sharp-eyed and aristocratic, took one look at Astraeus clinging to Kairen's sleeve and sighed deeply. Finally, Syrian muttered, he has been unbearable for 8 years. Do you know he wakes up every morning and checks Kairen's social media, like a senior citizen checking weather reports? Calum Lynx. Astraeus' Enigma father added, he even cried once because Kairen wore a new haircut. Astraeus sputtered. Father! Kairen's jaw dropped. Eris whistled. Oh, he's down bad. Zephyrus nodded. Deeply. Astraeus practically wrapped his entire body around Kairen like a guard dog. Kairen shoved him gently. Sit properly, you giant octopus. Astraeus sat, but only after scooting closer by 2 centimeters. The 1-month engagement. Astraeus being. Astraeus. Despite his dramatic tomorrow wedding announcement, the marriage didn't happen the next day. Mainly because Eris smacked Astraeus on the head and said, Calm down, lunatic, give him a month. Astraeus listened. But did he relax? Absolutely not. For 30 days straight, he hovered behind Kairen like a shadow, restricted any male from coming within 2 meters, banned energy drinks from Kairen's diet, bad for your womb health, followed him to work, carried him randomly, growled at waiters, checked Kairen's temperature twice a day, slept on the floor beside Kairen's bed like a guard dog, stared at Kairen for long periods. To memorize him, Kairen handled it. Mostly. Until Astraeus tried to spoon-feed him soup in front of Ryuvan. Enough! Kairen yelled, hitting Astraeus on the arm. Astraeus held his arm, eyes wide, dramatic as ever. You hit me? Kairen glared. Stop being overbearing. I'm not fragile. Astraeus hung his head instantly. I'm sorry. I'll behave. He did not behave. Not even for 24 hours. The wedding luxury, chaos and territory. The ceremony was held in the Lynx private glass garden. Lanterns, orchids, gold silk decorations, a string quartet playing soft melodies, and a guest list filled with CEOs terrified of Astraeus. Kairen looked ethereal in ivory white. Astraeus looked like a dark prince waiting for his bride. Throughout the ceremony, Astraeus held Kairen's hand too tightly, growled when someone stared too long, kissed Kairen's wrist possessively, gave death glares to photographers, refused to let Kairen walk alone, pouted every time Kairen teased him. Kairen, being a menace, did it on purpose. You're glaring again, he whispered. Astraeus scowled adorably. They're looking at you. It's a wedding, Kairen snorted. Everyone looks. Astraeus hugged him from behind. They should look at the floor. Eris cackled in the background. That's my son-in-law. Zephyrus wiped a tear. So territorial. I'm emotional. The wedding night. The shy Enigma. Late at night, Astraeus carried Kairen into the honeymoon suite, a luxurious room filled with soft lights and petals. Astraeus set him down and suddenly stopped, froze, panicked. His ears turned red. Kairen, this is, sudden and new, and you may need time. We can wait. Kairen blinked. Are you shy? Astraeus stared at the floor, defeated. Yes. Kairen walked closer. The poor Enigma went still. Kairen? Kairen cupped his chin. Don't worry, he whispered with a wicked smile. I'll take the lead. Astraeus' breath hitched. He melted instantly, like butter under the sun, completely undone. Kairen, he whispered, voice trembling. You'll be the death of me. Kairen smirked, pushing him gently onto the bed. Good, because I plan to enjoy it. And the Enigma surrendered, soft, shy, loving, completely obsessed. Chapter 4. Married Life, Chaos Obsession. The first month of marriage for Kairen and Astraeus could be described in one word. Chaotic. The second word, very chaotic. The third, Darian screaming in the background. The Office of Doom, Astraeus Lynx, CEO Enigma, feared by the business world, had once been known for his composure, his icy aura, his terrifying poker face. Since marrying Kairen, that composure shattered like cheap glass. Darian, his assistant, discovered this on day one. Kairen walked into the office wearing a casual, loose white shirt, which Astraeus hated because too many people could stare at his collarbones, and blue jeans. He sat on Astraeus' lap without warning, right in the middle of a meeting, with board members present. Astraeus froze. The board members froze. Darian whispered a prayer to the gods of professionalism. Kairen simply hugged Astraeus' neck and asked in a sweet voice, Why do you look so serious, husband? Astraeus' ears turned red. He glared at the board members. Meeting adjourned. It barely even started. One of them dared to protest. Astraeus growled. They all ran. Darian sighed. And this is my life now. Possessiveness. Level 9999. Astraeus had always been protective. But marriage awakened something feral. Every time someone looked at Kairen for more than 3 seconds, Astraeus' pheromones exploded like a territorial bomb. He would wrap an arm around Kairen's waist and glare until the person turned away or pretended to faint. Kairen found it adorable, so he teased him. A lot. Whenever Astraeus was busy, Kairen would purposely talk sweetly to Darian. Darian would turn pale. Please don't use me as bait. Astraeus would appear behind Kairen like a ghost. Kairen, come here. Make me Tilda. Astraeus would pick him up bridal style immediately. Darian, I hate my job. Alpha should not walk too much. Astraeus had a rule now. Kairen must not walk. Not long distances, not short distances, not even from sofa to kitchen. Kairen stood up once to get a glass of water. Astraeus, horrified, rushed to him. No, I'll carry you. Astraeus, it's just water. You might get tired. It's literally 5 steps. No. Astraeus carried him anyway. Ryuven, Astraeus' gossip-addicted cousin, watched while eating chips. Wow, you've turned into a simp. Astraeus glared. Leave. I'll go after I finish the popcorn. Home life. The circus. Astraeus' mansion used to be silent. Now, it was filled with chaos. Kairen's laughter echoed through every hallway. Astraeus chased him regularly because Kairen would accidentally steal Astraeus' shirts and hide them. Their parents visited often. Eris would laugh so hard he cried. Zephyrus would hug Astraeus sympathetically. He did the same to me during our first year of marriage, Zephyrus confessed. Astraeus stared. Kairen smirked smugly. Runs in the family. Eris proudly declared, my son is doing amazing. Astraeus Lynx, flustered lover, Astraeus was deadly in business. But the moment Kairen touched him, his brain died. A simple kiss on the cheek made him choke on air. A slow drag of fingers on his jaw made him whimper. A whisper in his ear made him malfunction completely. Kairen loved every second. My husband is so cute, he would say loudly. Astraeus would bury his face in Kairen's shoulder and growl. Only for you. Nighttime. Where chaos turns soft. The nights were a different world. No teasing, no pranks, just heat and tenderness. Kairen would straddle him, pressing kisses down Astraeus' throat, making the Enigma tremble. Astraeus would hold his waist, voice soft and reverent. Mine. Forever. He kissed Kairen like he was fragile treasure. Held him like the world wasn't allowed to touch him. Kairen smiled against his lips. I know. Astraeus melted every single night. Their marriage in one sentence. A certified menace married a dangerously obsessed lover. And the universe was paying the price. But one thing was clear. They were perfect for each other. Chaotic, loving, territorial, soft, and completely insane together. Exactly how a fated bond should be. Chapter 5. Pregnancy Drama Happy Ending. 8 months into their marriage, the Lynx Vale household reached a new level of chaos. And it all began in the middle of a very serious board meeting. The meeting disaster. Kairen sat beside Astraeus, pretending to be serious as graphs and numbers flashed on the screen. The directors discussed quarterly projections. Astraeus kept glancing at him because that's what Astraeus did. Monitor Kairen like he was the crown jewel of the kingdom. Everything was going fine until Kairen suddenly slapped a hand over his mouth, stood up, and sprinted out of the meeting room. Darian blinked. Sir? Astraeus was already gone. The board stared at the empty seat. From the hallway came loud retching noises. From Astraeus came louder panic. Kairen, do you need oxygen, water, a doctor? A few minutes later, the doctor arrived. Astraeus hovered like an overgrown murderous mother hen. The doctor calmly checked Kairen. Astraeus paced. Fix him. Sir, please calm. Fix him. Kairen rolled his eyes. Astraeus, I'm not dying. Calm down. The doctor cleared his throat. Congratulations, he's pregnant. Astraeus froze. Kairen froze. Darian dropped his tablet. Astraeus' eyes slowly widened, glowing bright. Kairen shrieked. What? How? He knew how, but still. Astraeus promptly fainted. Right on Kairen. The dramatic pregnancy. Kairen entered his pregnancy arc, which meant drama. Drama everywhere. First crying because Astraeus ate his ice cream. Astraeus. Love, I thought you didn't want. Kairen, sobbing aggressively. It was mine. Astraeus immediately bought 47 boxes. Second threatening divorce. Astraeus. Baby, sleep. It's late. Kairen. How dare you control my life? I want freedom. Get me a lawyer. 5 minutes later, he curled into Astraeus' chest. I'm sleepy. Carry me. Third, hugging Astraeus. All night. Astraeus woke up every morning drenched in affection and drool. He loved it. Fourth smacking. Anyone who said pregnancy would make him soft. Reuven. Pregnancy will make you gentler. Kairen punches him in the shoulder. Reuven. Okay, wow, violent mother-to-be. Astraeus. Overprotective husband mode. If Kairen was dramatic, Astraeus was unhinged. Carried Kairen everywhere. Astraeus refused to let him walk. Not even to the bathroom. Kairen. I can walk. Astraeus. No. Kairen. It's literally 5 steps. Astraeus. No. Growling at air, sometimes Kairen would sneeze. Astraeus would glare at the ceiling. What threatened you? Tell me. Banned. Kairen from working. Kairen tried to open his laptop once. Astraeus confiscated it. This is a stress-free zone. This is marriage, not prison. Sleeps holding Kairen's belly. Every night, Astraeus curled around him, hands on Kairen's stomach, whispering to the baby like a love-struck fool. Daddy loves you. Daddy loves Mommy more, but you're close. Kairen smacked him. Stop talking nonsense with my baby. Bites anyone who gets too close. Reuven, Kairen's best friend, walked within 2 meters of Kairen. Astraeus bit his shoulder. Reuven, what is wrong with you two? Parents who laugh instead of helping. Eris nearly fell off the sofa laughing. Just like us, she declared proudly. Zephyrus nodded fondly. Pregnancy made her 10 times worse. Astraeus looked horrified. Kairen felt validated. The baby arrives. Hours of screaming. 2 chairs broken, Kairen threw them. Astraeus almost fought the doctor again. And then, a small, soft cry filled the room. Their child had Astraeus' soft black hair, but Kairen's sharp golden eyes. A perfect mixture of Alpha and Enigma. Astraeus' hands trembled as he held the baby. Kairen lay back, exhausted but glowing. Give him to me. Astraeus sat beside him, kissing his forehead gently. 8 years ago, I swore I'd make you mine. His voice was thick with emotion. I'm glad you pranked me that day. It gave me the excuse to chain you to me forever. Kairen smirked tiredly. You never needed a reason. Astraeus laughed softly, kissing him again. I know. Happily ever after. Their house remained chaotic. Astraeus remained obsessed. Kairen remained dramatic. Their child grew up surrounded by laughter, love, and 2 unhinged parents. A perfect ending. A chaotic ending. Their ending. Forever obsessed, forever territorial, forever stupidly in love.